Data structure is the arrangement of data in the computer's memory efficiently. So we have discussed two types of data structures: linear data structures and non-linear data structures. Linear data structures are those structures in which the elements are arranged sequentially, and non-linear data structures are those structures in which elements are not arranged in any sequence, in any particular sequence. Means there is no proper ancestor and descendant for an element. So today we will discuss about the linear data structure. Array. Array is a collection of elements of the same data type, or we can say a linear array is a list of a finite number of n homogeneous data elements. Finite number means we have a fixed amount of elements in the array. Means we have to define the size of an array. How many elements we want to have in an array. Homogeneous means the data type of each and every element of an array is same. So if we talk about the programming language, means if we are storing the integer elements, if the data type of the first element in an array is integer, it means the data type of all the elements present in the array is integer. So we are calling it the collection of homogeneous data elements. The elements of the array are referenced respectively by an index set consisting of n consecutive numbers. Since if we are defining any list, we will take the serial number of each and every number in the list. Same is the case with an array. So if you are writing some elements in the array, we will refer them by their index number. So 0, 1, 2, 3, it is an integer number, and we call it the index set. So by default the index set starts with 0, but explicitly you can start with 1, 2, or whatever the integer number you want to get it started. So the elements of the array are stored respectively in successive memory location. As I told you earlier, in arrays the elements are arranged in successive memory locations, means in consecutive memory locations, one after the another. The length of the array, we can define the length of the array as or the size of the array, the number of elements present in an array. The number n of elements is called the length or size of the array. As I told you earlier, the index set consists of the integers 1, 2, 3, and by default it can start from 0. If you want to find out the length of an array, the formula to find the length is upper bound minus lower bound plus 1, where upper bound is the largest index. Largest index means the last element, the index of the last element in the array. It is called upper bound, and lower bound is the smallest index, means the address of the first element in the array. We can denote elements of an array by different notations. In subscript notation, we can denote the array like A1, A2, AN. In parenthesis notation, we can represent the elements of the array like this, and in bracket notations, we can denote the elements of the array like this. The number k in AK is called subscript. Here this k is called the subscript. The value of this k will range from lower bound to upper bound, means the value the index of the first element to the index of the last element, and AK combinedly it is called subscripted variable. It will represent the linear array in memory. Since I told you earlier that the elements of an array are arranged in consecutive memory locations in a sequential memory, means one after the another. So here it is called the address of the memory locations: 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. So the arrays are if the arrays are stored in consecutive memory locations. So now representation of linear array in memory. If you want to represent, you want to find out how elements of an array are represented in memory. So let's say LA be a linear array in the memory of the computer. Here we want to find out the location of the kth element in the array. Here it is representing, this notation is indicating the location, the address of kth element in the linear array, that is address of the element k of the array LA. So the elements of LA are stored in successive memory cells. So if we want, since there is a large space available in computer memory, so computer can't remember the address of each and every element in the array. So it only remembers the base address of an element, means the address of first element of the array. So computer does not need to keep track of the address of every element of array, but need to track only the address of the first element of the array, denoted by base LA, called the base address of LA. So we can say the address of the first element of the array is called the base address of the array. So if you want to calculate the address of any element in the array, the formula is location of LAK, means if you want to find out the location of kth element in the array, the formula is base LA plus WK minus LV. Here base is indicating the address of first element in the array, plus W means the memory allocated to each element in the array, or we can say the data type or the size of the data type of each element in the array, plus K is indicating the location of the element, the index of the K is indicating the index of the element for which you want to find out the address, minus lower bound means the address of first element in the array. So for example, if you want to find out the address of element at index 6, so how you will find out? Since it is saying that each element of the array occupy 1 byte, means 1 byte for each element present in the array. Here we have started the index from 0. So I am talking about the element at index C, means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically I am talking about the 7th element present in the array, whose index is 6. So by applying the formula, here the base address is what? The address of the first element in the array. So here base address is 0. The W, the memory allocated to each element in the array. The memory allocated is 1 byte. Kth element, means the index of the index. Here index is 6. Lower bound, the index of the first element in the array. Here lower bound is 0. So by applying the formula, the answer is 206. So the address of the 6th indexed element is 206. So in this way we can find out the address of each and every element present in the array, with the condition we know that the base address of the array, the total number of byte allocated to each element in the array, and the lower bound of the array. In next example, here we have allocated 2 bytes to each element present in the array. If we start the base address from 0, so 200 and 201 is allocated. Since we have allocated 2 bytes to each element, so this pink part is allocated to the element indexed at 0, green part is allocated to the element indexed at 1, red part is allocated to the element indexed 2, and black part is allocated to the element indexed at 3. So if I want to find out the address of the array of the element indexed at 15, so the formula is base address we have 200, the size of each element is 2, the index of the element at which we want the address is k, that is here 15, lower bound since our index starts from 0, 0, so the answer is 230.